Good day, everyone, and thank you for tuning in today as we look ahead to 2021 and for NK, what's going to be a very, very special year as we celebrate our 30th year of luxury expedition cruising. I'm Bob Simpson, and I'm thrilled to give you a Take 10 sneak peek to our planned inaugural Iceland, Faroe Islands, and Norwegian Fjords expedition. As I mentioned, next year, NK will be celebrating 30 years of expedition cruising, and we're really excited to add some new addition programs to our itinerary lineup. NK's inaugural Iceland, Faroes, and Norwegian Fjords voyage will take our guests to some of the most stunning, scenic, and remote landscapes of the Norwegian Sea. Throughout the voyage, you'll experience amazing geology, wildlife, and unique cultures, populations of the southern coast of Iceland, the remote, seldom visited Faroe Islands, and the heart of what is truly one of the world's geographical gems, the Norwegian Fjords. Along the way, plenty of opportunities for active excursions, treks, village visits, and cultural encounters, a perfect recipe for a perfect expedition voyage. You'll also travel in the company of some of the world's most compelling leaders, and on this voyage, with such a variety of activities and active elements that we'll have available, we're pleased to have one of our explorers in residence planned for the voyage, Fionn Paul. Fionn is a world record holding extreme athlete, having accomplished numerous Guinness Book of World Records of ocean rowing throughout the areas of the Arctic and the North Atlantic. And also last December, he was the captain of the first ever row across the Drake Passage from Cape Horn to the Antarctic Peninsula. It was called the Impossible Row. And in fact, our team on the Lilial, the ship that we operate down in the Antarctic, we crossed them about halfway across the Drake Passage. And Fionn will tell you that actually the spirit of the guests and our team on board, the lift that they got in very, very difficult conditions during that whole expedition, he said it really was a boost. So we were really pleased to be a small part of that historic expedition. Also on this program, seabird activity. It's going to be such a key and important element. And our returning guests are going to be pleased to be welcomed by one of the world's foremost ornithologists and an NK guest favorite, Dr. Patricia Silva Rodriguez. Now, for our guests that have been with us in the past, you know the importance of our onboard NK expedition team, and this expedition will be no different. You'll be joined by many familiar faces, such as NK's longtime expedition director, Susana Machado de Oliveira, and as the rest of our core team of field naturalists, the Zodiac drivers, and of course, our full lecture team. Now, every expedition has its key highlights and elements. So today, I wanted to take 10 to highlight what we feel are the most compelling for our Iceland, Faroes, and Norwegian Fjord expedition. It's going to start with stunning landscapes. Our journey begins as we visit the Westman Islands. It's a small archipelago right off the coast of Iceland. It includes the island of Jaime, which literally means home island, surrounded by 30 uninhabited islands, rocks, and skerries. This region has such an amazing geological past, and in fact, one eruption in 1963 actually created the island of Surtsey, where we hope to do a Zodiac cruise while we're there to an amazing birding island that's been created there. The eruption in Edafil on Jaime in 1973, it completely changed the landscape, and our guests will have the opportunity to hike to the rim of the volcano there during our visit. We'll also visit the southeastern seaport of Hupt and the stunning Vatnajökull ice cap and glacier. Vatnajökull is Europe's largest ice cap by volume, and it continues to be reshaped and recreated by the volcanic eruptions that continue to occur far below the ice cap itself. The Faroe Islands, seldomly visited, but increasingly on everyone's travel bucket list. This small archipelago, located about halfway between Iceland and the coast of Norway, has a subpolar oceanic climate. It's significantly impacted by the Gulf Stream current, so both the winter and summer temperatures are relatively mild, provides a lush, nutrient-rich environment, one of the most stunningly beautiful places in the world. And there's no more stunning region in the world that our guests will encounter when we visit the central fjords in Norway. Unbelievable area. The rugged island, remote island of Vesterland, our active guests, they'll have the opportunity to get out mountain biking or go on a hike with a local mountaineer for stunning vista views. And I mentioned before, birding opportunities on this voyage are going to be just quite astounding. And in particular, the opportunity in many areas for us to see the North Atlantic puffin and the influence of the Gulf Stream and the confluence of the cold Arctic waters provides such an amazing nutrient environment, and it makes the opportunities to see a variety of whales and other marine mammals. Among the likely species that we'll find are going to be humpback whales, orcas, and even the elusive blue whale are going to be likely here. For the humpbacks in particular, and because of the high content of the nutrient and food supply, the opportunities to witness an amazing phenomenon that's called bubble net feeding is extremely high. So always be out on deck and on watch. My friends will quite often hear me say, expedition cruising, it's really all about the senses. And so when we're out in the zodiacs and you have these amazing encounters with the wildlife, especially the humpbacks, what it does to your senses is just astounding. So your senses of sight, smell, and what you hear, they're the things that really just stay with you for the rest of your life. If we're lucky, we might encounter some roving Arctic fox, as well as another species likely that we'll find is the gray seal. But it's not just about the amazing geography and the wildlife. It's also some really excellent cultural experiences. For example, at the UNESCO World Heritage Site, Vega Island, it's emblematic of how the fishermen and the farmers survived this harsh Arctic climate for centuries. Go for a kayak excursion, or you might choose to visit the Studio Vega, known for its pottery, glass, and fine art. During our time in the Faroes, we'll spend the entire evening in the capital of Tórshavn. So our guests will have plenty of an opportunity to get out and explore the city, to visit the small villages of Saxon and Kollafjord. They're famous for the sod houses, an excursion to the stunning Vestmanna bird cliffs, or you might get out for a mountain hike, perfect for encountering the Faroese sheep. And when we're in the Lofotens, an unforgettable experience is going to be to visit a traditional Sami family. They still observe a semi-nomadic reindeer herding lifestyle, so it's an amazing experience. And finally, if time permits, after we disembark in Tromsø, you'll have the opportunity to visit the stunning Arctic Cathedral and the Polaria, which is the world's farthest northern aquarium. And I can tell you, it's just unbelievable. It's really fantastic. Now, you've seen some of the rugged and remote environments that we'll have the opportunity to visit during this journey, but I wanted to remind you that you'll be experiencing all of this in absolute comfort and style. For our Iceland, Faroe, and Norwegian Fjords expedition, we'll be chartering and operating the MV La Boreal, one of the world's premier polar expedition vessels. So there's a few key things that I want to highlight for you right now. As with all of our expedition cruise programs, A&K is the full expedition operator, so we have full expedition and operational control of the program. All of the planning, the operations, the execution of the itinerary, all handled by our A&K team. And part of that operational control also enables us to set and manage our own capacity, which for this program would be no more than 199 guests. However, in fact, when you take into account the number of solo travelers that we typically have, as well as the space that we need for our extensive and amazing expedition team, we're typically going to be full with around 180 guests. And just as a reminder, this is on a ship that is designed to carry 262 passengers. So what does that mean? Number one, we'll never have more than about 70% of what the ship is designed to carry. That provides much more comfort and personal space for all of our guests on board. And with the combination of our expedition team, the ship's crew, we'll have nearly a 1-to-1 service personnel to guest ratio on board. And that greatly enhances the level of personal service, the natural ability for physical distancing, and the ability for us to maintain the highest level of health and safety standards when we're on board. And 100% of our passenger accommodations, so all the staterooms and suites, all feature private balcony. So you have an amazing opportunity to encounter and experience an amazing area, if you wish, in complete solitude, if you're out on your private balcony as you cruise on the Boreal. And also, as a reminder, all of our programs are all inclusive. So that includes our butler service for all the staterooms and suites, amazing cuisine, 24-hour room service. We have our Travelers Valet laundry component that's included, open bar, all the gratuities for our crew, our staff, complimentary Wi-Fi, all the excursions, everything and so much more, all included in every A&K expedition voyage. You also have the opportunity to extend your journey with an exceptional group pre or post extension for both Reykjavik as well as Oslo. So we look forward to welcoming all of our travelers, and in particular, we invite you to join us as we celebrate 30 years of luxury expedition cruising. In addition to our inaugural Iceland, Faroes, and Norway expedition, please visit abercrombieandkent.com and take a look at our lineup for all of our programs during our celebratory year. Thank you very much.